They act like he's like the second coming of Joe Montana.
Right.
I think Notre Dame's defense is going to be really solid. I think they take the game. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. I'm thinking something in the neighborhood of like 24-17.
Yeah, me and him are
no,
pretty much.
You're giving it better credit than I was giving.
Yeah, I got it 27-17 Irish. I just think Notre Dame's defense is going to be really stellar. For one, returning the 9 starters from last year, just like Michigan did. But Notre Dame, I think, played a much tougher schedule than Michigan did last year, and they're still a top 10 defense. So even with Mike Elko, Clark Lee steps in. That's Mike Elko's protege from Wake Forest. I mean, he helped write the defense with Mike Elko anyway. So it's the same defense, the terminology, the same wording, the same verbiage, same all across the board for that defense. It is not going to skip a beat. And me and Tom was talking, I think this game was going to come down. I'll ask you this question too, because I don't know if you called in and heard some of this. If you had to take a game-winning drive, your late-game game-winning drive, who would you take, Brandon Wimbush or Shea Patterson?
Oh man, that's tough. At this point, I think you got to take Wimbush. Like, Shea Patterson has sat on the bench for over a year. I don't know any quarterback. I mean, look at Andrew Luck, as good as he is. His first couple preseason games they were rough. I mean, there's no substitute for on-the-field experience. And really, Wimbush looked really good in the USC game and early in the season, and then he kind of got hit with that confidence bug, and I think he got a case of the yips in the back half of the season, and I think the way he's progressed, like I said, my parents live in South Bend. Everything that they're saying up there, he looks like the quarterback that they thought he was going to be all year last year, even then some. So I think the Irish if it comes down to a game-winning drive, I think Don Brown blitzes too often, and all it takes is one shot.
Yeah.
And Wimbush has the arm to get that one shot.
Tom, you got thoughts?
Well, I'm totally on the Wimbush bandwagon. He's your starter. My thing is there going to be a touchdown at all in this game? I'm looking at a 13-10 game with this game. This is going to be who controls the field goals. This is going to be a defensive battle. I don't know that Notre Dame or Michigan, for that matter, has what it takes to even get a single touchdown on Saturday. But I could be wrong.
Well,
could be wrong.
The Irish put touchdowns on the board against Georgia last year, and I think Georgia's defense is a lot better in Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Well, not to mention, Shea Patterson also, in the last year that he had his season at Ole Miss, this stat isn't 100% accurate, but I'm pretty sure he had somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 or 6 pick sixes that season. So he throws them. He throws
on the run, and he's not that accurate. Yeah, you're right. He's 2 touchdowns and 5 picks against top 25 teams last year.
Right.
Now, here's the other thing, too, that nobody's really talking about. It's, he's coming to Michigan on limited time learning this offense with a new offensive coordinator who just happens to be their wide receivers coach, who just happens to be the old head coach at Florida last year, Jim McElwain. I mean, are you kidding me how flat Florida was, and this is the offensive coordinator now at Michigan's Jim McElwain, and Shea Patterson's just coming in and learning this Jim McElwain offense that Jim Harbaugh is going to have his fingerprint all over it. They're going to use the power run game against Notre Dame, no doubt about that. But they're going to try to open up and get Shea Patterson out of the pocket, too, so he can display his talents. But with Jim McElwain as their offensive coordinator now and Shea Patterson being there for just a few months and trying to pick all this up, I just don't see Michigan might be really good this year, but it just is not going to all come together during against Notre Dame week 1. Tom?
No, I think that Notre Dame's going to win. And let me ask Adam this, don't you? Because I know that you hate Michigan. Was it you, Rick's Twitter, that I saw where there's like this little kid's class picture, and then there's a I loved it. Then there was one little kid sitting all by himself away from everyone with a Michigan thing, and it said there's always a POS kid everywhere. I thought that was classic. I thought that was great. I'm going to ride the I don't like Michigan bandwagon, as I've said 4 times on this show alone. Michigan has the most overrated, most overpaid coach, and it's not going to take much for him to be on the hot seat. And so I hope that Notre Dame helps that happen, but with a win, no matter how much it is, by Notre Dame.
So 917-889-8516. If you're a Michigan fan, you want to call in and try to defend yourself here. I know we're beating up on Michigan, and that's my fault because I am a Notre Dame homer, and now we have a Buckeye Adam on. The name speaks for itself. So I know we're beating up on Michigan pretty bad here, but while we have Adam on for now, there's a couple more games I want to try to get to. One is Miami and LSU, and Adam, this question goes to you. I think I know what you're going to say, and who needs this win more, Miami or LSU?
LSU, not even a question.
Right.
LSU's, they're breaking in a new quarterback who is someone that Buckeye fans are very familiar with, and Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, by a lot of accounts, was the safer quarterback between him and Dwayne Haskins, who won the quarterback battle for us, being the Ohio State Buckeyes. Joe Burrow is from Athens, Ohio. His dad is an offensive coordinator at the University of Ohio. Extremely intelligent, got a solid arm, nothing spectacular. He's one of those guys that can beat you but won't lose you the game. He's essentially the quarterback that LSU has not had in years. They've either had a guy like Jamarcus Russell or Danny Etling, who I don't even understand how he was a starter in the SEC when he couldn't even do a thing at Purdue, but that's LSU needs this game bad. Mark Richt has had a good unexpected year last year, so he's kind of riding this wave of where he can't do any wrong. So if they drop an opening game to LSU, for them, I think it'd be no harm, no foul, unless they get absolutely blown out.
Tom, the oven, not the oven, but the stovetop is already warmed up underneath Ed Orgeron, head coach for for LSU. A loss right here. Of course, that the Flames are just going to keep rising and rising. Do you think LSU under Ed Orgeron can compete, as you see it today, in the SEC?
No, but this game I don't know is going to be that deciding factor. It is going to be a battle of the heavyweight names that really should amount to really what a lot of people might think is the college football elimination game for one team and possibly a launching pad for the other. And that could go either way. LSU is a power program coming off a solid 9-win season, but it's not enough considering national championships are supposed to be part of the equation each and every season, no matter what. And I don't know that the talent level I just don't know that the talent level's there. So I don't know that we could put it all on the coach. But I would say that LSU is going to struggle. This, I agree with Adam. This certainly is a must-win for the Tigers in Texas.
So let's say LSU wins this game, all right, but then only put together like a 7-win season because they play in the SEC and how tough that is. I might argue this might actually be a bigger game that Miami needs, considering they're in the ACC, and they're going to have to. If they lose this game, they're going to have to beat Clemson if they want to get into the playoff. I mean, if they can run the table and lose to Clemson, and they'll still be right there on the bubble, taking consideration to be in. But a loss to LSU means they're going to have to beat Clemson. And Adam, I just don't see that happening.
Oh no, Clemson. I mean, Clemson is. If you're looking at it, the spot that wins championships being the O-line and the D-line, Clemson and Ohio State have the best two defensive lines in college football, and it's not even comparable. Both of those defensive lines are absolutely star-studded, and then on top of that, Clemson has Trevor Lawrence, the freshman quarterback, coming in, and Kelly Bryant held him off in camp for now, but that kid is an absolute stud. He's a potential future number 1 draft pick in the NFL, and Clemson is going to be a hard team to beat. The question with Clemson is, as always, will they have that hiccup game like they had last year against Syracuse? And then if they lose another tough one, that's kind of how their seasons have typically gone outside of the year that they won it all.
And Tom, we'll stay in the same conference. Florida State under Willie Taggart. I just didn't see that really as a match made in heaven. But now, as we're college football eve, week 1 starts tomorrow. 917-889-8516. You can weigh in on the ACC. I'm coming around on Florida State, and they open up with Virginia Tech, and that is one hell of a week 1 game. Also, that's up there, Washington, Auburn, Michigan, Notre Dame almost. I mean, that is a great matchup, and I'm coming around on Florida State. What are your thoughts on Florida State?
Are you asking me? Because I tell you what. If Miami could come in and punch Florida State in the mouth this year, I think that's going to show a lot to Florida State fans as to why they don't have a coach anymore who followed the money and says, see ya, we wouldn't want to be ya. Can I say that? It's like 2018. Can I still say that? See, you wouldn't want to be ya?
Hey, I'm old enough, man. It's cool with me.
and I know we wanted to get over to the Ohio State talk too, so I want to dominate that talk. But that said, when we were talking about Miami and LSU, Ohio State's got Miami coming up, and I think doesn't Ohio State also have Florida State this year? I could be wrong about that, but. No, they have Oregon State. That's who I was thinking about, but still go ahead. Which is a game that Urban Meyer is going to be suspended for. So I know that's in our line there, Rick. So I'll try not to step on your toes.
We'll get to Ohio State
while we're doing the tango, sir.
Because I just there's one more game we want to get to, and we'll jump right into the Urban Meyer talk. Because I know Adam's just dying to get into that. So
he's nipping at the bud, nipping at the bit.
So Adam. Do you see any scenario where Louisville makes a game against Alabama this Saturday?
No. No.
Now, come on, because Louisville might have like the best named quarterback in college football. Do you know who Louisville's quarterback is?
I don't.
Yeah, Puma Pass is his name. And he's big. He's like the exact opposite of Lamar Jackson. He's a pocket passer. I think he's like 6'6", laser rocket arm. That's something from the early 2000s with Peyton Manning, if I could say that. So they're thinking he's going to be able to throw the ball around the yard against Alabama, but because they think Alabama's secondary is kind of down. I know, and I also know they have some injuries at linebacker. One of their starters isn't going to be playing in this game. But with Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback, it doesn't matter how many points Louisville's going to score because Alabama's probably going to put up 50 a game on everybody they play this year. And also, Adam, what do you make of Tua Tagovailoa being the Heisman frontrunner right now?
We're making a lot out of a half. I think
right,
if you look at body of work, like he was really, really good. But if you're talking like not NFL projections, which I think is where a lot of this comes in, but if you're looking at like who was the best returning quarterback, I don't know how Will Grier isn't the Heisman frontrunner at this point. The dude has put up unbelievable numbers with really, really good accuracy. Really, if it wasn't for how good Baker Mayfield was last year, Will Grier would have gotten a lot more headlines. It's just Baker is Will Grier and did it all better. But I mean, if you've got Bryce Love as well as Will Grier out there, and people are saying that Tagovailoa is the front runner, I don't see how that's possible. He played one half. They had no tape on him, and he came in and did well. It's kind of like when like a rookie starting pitcher gets called up from AAA, and then in their first start they'll go like 6 innings without a hit. It's the same situation. The second there's going to be some tape out on there, this kid isn't Marcus Mariota. Like, he's really good, but he's not Mariota as a senior. So to call him the Heisman frontrunner at this point is just complete. It's the Alabama hype train doing what CBS and ESPN did.
It's a knee-jerk reaction. It's a knee-jerk reaction to 2 quarters of football. Where really, he just made 2 or 3 good throws, but you saw late in that game he also took a 15-yard sack, which is something you can't do. You definitely can't do it in the national championship game. It ended up working out for him. But we'll see. He's got some growing pains, and we're going to move this segment right along before we get to go ahead, Tom.
Well, I just wanted to chime in on the Louisville-Alabama game. Do I think Alabama will win? Absolutely. But the question made was, can you make a case that Louisville can beat Alabama? There is absolutely the case that Louisville could beat Alabama. 3 reasons.
If Bama doesn't show up.
Well, that would be number 4. But Des Fitzpatrick is going to be one of the lead's game receivers. And not only that, he's certainly one of the top receivers in college football today. Alabama